likewise, another method is my EWD, and this is focusing on sort of on discussion, but sort of using, but within the internet and online. So what this is it's a hub where any member, and you don't really need to pay or anything. You can just subscribe to become a member. You can connect with overseas volunteers. You can speak with sort of the CEOs. You can talk to other members. And there's different tabs. There you can learn about different events that are happening around Canada. You can connect and share photos. It's essentially, this appeared before Facebook, actually, and this went online in actually 2002, and recently just went through an updating process. And I just shared some images of sort of the things that sort of came out from IWD. It allowed for members to collaborate and and organize events such as Run to End Poverty, which is now becoming its own organization. Likewise, picture in the top right is when a bunch of us actually want to coordinate like a campaign where we did the polar bear swim in banana costumes, and we raised money for just jumping in freezing cold water and staying there for like minutes. We organized our Western retreat through my EWB, and then that's like sort of a shot of just us having like a conversation. So I mean, sort of thinking about the aspect of activism and looking at our time being exposed to media, Engineers Without Borders decided to take the activism and embed it within the internet and within sort of the media that we're constantly exposed to in order to create sort of a positive experience for everyone. This is sort of the scope where we're quite aggressive on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, and Meetup, and we use these tools readily to engage with people across the country. Likewise, we run a lot of campaigns through Facebook and Twitter. And looking at the scope here, I'm a member of the Vancouver Professional Chapter, but we actually have networks across the country consisting of university groups and professional groups, all of which can connect into these social media and through my EWD. Just shortly, just to comment on sort of what we're doing at Fairtrade Vancouver, because most of us are members of Engineers Without Borders, we actually employ technology, and we try to take the information that we sort of collect and make it widely available to people. That's sort of our fair trade finder in the bottom right corner, and you can find any fair trade cafe, grocery store, restaurant with the touch of an iPhone. Likewise, we took sort of our grocery store information and put it into a Google Maps finder. Both of these applications were the first of its kind in Canada, and we're constantly updating it. And our goal is really, once again, to use technology and make it available and accessible for everyone, for all ages. So really, just in summary, we seek to maximize communication tools and technology. We consolidate information to serve as resource hubs for downloading, uploading, and modifying. We take these resource hubs and we decentralize activism outreach activities, so anyone across the country can use these information sources and then go about activism or go about campaigns as they see fit. And likewise, we assess impacts and we employ sort of iterative approaches. We constantly measure the impacts, whether or not this approach was successful or not, what were the outcomes, how effective were the outcomes, and whether or not we can tweak it. Yeah, so that's the end. Yeah. Any questions?
I just was curious. Barb, somebody mentioned you were not an engineer.
Yeah.
So the group, of course, are you a volunteer then, or how?
Yeah, right. Sorry. So like the
just
name.
Curious the connection.
Yeah.
Because you're doing a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just wondered how or why or where does that come from?
Yeah, sure. Well, Engineers Without Borders actually was founded by engineers, and they originally were trying to sort of harness the engineering community across Canada. But what happened is they became actually quite successful, and they started drawing people because their message is international development, they started drawing people from different disciplines. So even though it's called Engineers Without Borders, it's still open to anyone from any profession. There's like teachers, people with science degrees, people from marketing backgrounds. And so in this case, sort of the engineering, the concept of engineering is really about how we sort of use information and how we sort of assess our impacts, and how we sort of maximize outcomes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like using a scientific approach almost,
Yeah,
in a way.
definitely. Like, and that's why I think sort of in all of Engineers Without Borders projects, I mean, they only focus in 4 countries. They have very specific regions and very specific programs.
And what are those countries?
Yeah, sure. Malawi, Burkina Faso, Zambia, and Ghana. Yeah. 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 So.
Sasha, do you have a sense of your how many users you have, or how many folks come to your Facebook page or comment, or any kind of stats you might be able to share?
Yeah, I could definitely pull some up for you. I know our Facebook fan page has about 2,000 fans. For Fair Trade Vancouver, we have about 3,000 fans. And when we sort of look at the demographics, the actual breakdown is, well, women aged 20 to 25 are the highest users, and then followed by men in that same category, and then it generally starts decreasing. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that that older people don't use these devices. It just means that our membership base is actually kind of skewed that way, and generally it's reflective in sort of our approaches because we're very technology oriented. It like we sort of I guess resonate with that age demographic, but by no means is that a barrier. Or at least we hope it's not.
But obviously you've been very successful at reaching out to youth using
Yeah.
these types of tools.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess once again, like what I wanted to really present to this group was sort of